Good evening. I'm with Tim Matcham here, the property finance coach, and we're going to have a little bit of a chat about your background. Tell me, Tim, what's your background in property and where do you start? Where do you come from?
Okay, yeah, thanks Andrew for the invitation to have the chat, really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
So I got into property coming up for 5 years ago now, when I realised that my pension wasn't going to provide for me in quite the way that I'd hoped it would. I invested heavily in my education and did a 12-month education programme with somebody called Simon Zucci, I believe you know.
Yes.
And that's led me to where I am today, I guess. So,
okay. And I believe you've just had a recent Amazon bestseller. It's #1, isn't it?
Yes, it was it reached #1 in about 4 different categories. So
wow.
Thrilled with that. So that's the book How to Attract Armchair Investors for Property, and delighted to announce that that's also now available on Audible.
Wow.
Which
so that's available now.
It's available now. Yeah,
fantastic.
As we speak. So. I took the giddy step of actually recording it and editing it myself, which is not necessarily the best use of my time, but helps to build a brand. So, it was an interesting experience.
Fantastic. So, you also do coaching, don't you?
Yes, yeah. I'm a coach and a mentor for people who are looking to raise private finance for their property deals. So, typically I'll get people, I either work with them for a couple of sessions or more frequently over a 6-month period to help them break down the barriers and to understand what they need to do in order to be able to attract that financing for their property deals.
Excellent. And do you have good feedback from that?
I have some excellent feedback. It's almost embarrassing, but I can take it. The last comment that I had was from one of my clients who got a brilliant comment from his wife, who said that she was really inspired by the action and the effort that he was taking at the moment. And I inquired as to how this was, and he said, well, it's off the back of the time that I spent with you. So when you hear stories like that, where people have really grasped it and understood what's involved, it's kind of what drives me. I love seeing other people succeed, and I guess that comes off the back of some fairly challenging times from my perspective. But without those challenging times, sometimes you don't learn.
Yeah.
And in retrospect, yes, they were challenging while I actually went through them, and I lost a lot of sleep and had, very, I'm going to say, dark and depressing times. But I now reflect back on it, and really without those learning experiences, I couldn't be where I am today. And in fact, one of my coaches said to me, without my failures, you'll learn nothing. You'll learn nothing from my successes.
Yeah.
The learning will all come from my failures. And I think now I'm seeing the benefit of that for other people as well, learning from my failures and my less than good experiences in many cases. But then that's given me the confidence now to be able to really move forward in a very positive way.
Excellent. And in terms of property, are you still involved in property? Are you still doing property?
Yes,
deals?
absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm a property investor as well as a coach, because I believe in doing what you're sharing with other people, and it also keeps me current. So we have a project at the moment in Paynton, and we'll be working with an investor. We'll be looking for 200,000 for that project. And it's right on the seafront, fabulous sea views. It's 7 flats. It's a former hotel, and it's also got a 2-bedroom cottage at the back, which used to be the owner's / manager's cottage. And the joy of that is we've got multiple exit strategies, and one of those, our ideal is actually to do a commercial refinance in 2 years' time. But actually we could sell off that cottage because it is completely separate, and so it would just be a paper exercise splitting the title, And so that just gives reassurance to potential investors. And that's what we look for a lot, is how many exit strategies are there for a particular project. Because if our main strategy doesn't work, we then very clear about alternatives that we've got. And we're not, obviously we don't want those necessarily to happen, but they're there as reassurance.
Plan A is the preferred.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you shared with me some of the pictures of the project, and it looks a phenomenal opportunity.
Yeah. We have kind of checked out the competition in a particular area, and pretty confident that both from a holiday aspect and also a business perspective, we will have a very lettable project. We'll be doing serviced accommodation, and we've done all our figures based on 50% occupancy. We're pretty confident that even right from the start we'll be able to be up and running very quickly, and we'll achieve significantly better figures than that without too much. Well, yes, of course we'll need to put effort into it. But we've been very conservative with our figures just to make sure that everybody's safe.
Excellent. So 2018 looks a phenomenal year for you ahead. We're starting the year with a bestseller on Amazon, releasing an Audible book, the coaching business going strong, projects in the pipeline.
Yes, absolutely. And
good news stories.
Yeah, and great opportunities to share that with other people as well, and share my story and hopefully help other people to do the same as I have. It's not easy. If it was, everybody would be doing it. And I, as I mentioned previously, have had some really, really challenging times. And so my kind of overnight success, which is what it may appear to the outside world, is anything but. It's taken 5 years of hard grind. And that's where the perseverance side of working in property is so important. You can't give up. In the famous words of Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, 3 feet from gold. If you stop without seeking expert advice and help, and I've had my own coaches and mentors across a variety of different aspects of my life to help to get me to where I am. So I've continually invested in my education, and I still work with people that help and guide and steer me today. I believe that's a very important aspect, and would strongly urge anybody. We were chatting just before we started this recording about how close people seem to be, and often it's easier for other people to see what the blockers are for them. Yeah. So having that extra brain, that missing 10% just vanishes, and it's knowing when to seek guidance and help from somebody who's trodden the path before.
Mm-hmm. No, that's brilliant. It sounds like you've got a really bright and rosy future ahead of you.
Thank you.
It sounds like you've had challenges and hurdles you've had to overcome to get to where you are now.
Yeah.
And I wish you very much success for the future, Tim. I'm sure we'll be sitting down and doing a follow-up interview in a few months' time, looking back on your project in Paignton and other projects. Yeah. But Tim, I'd like to thank you very much. Tim Matcham, the property finance coach.
Thank you very much.
And I'm Andrew Roberts from Property Investor Reward Club. Thank you.
Thank you.